Stop. Stay exactly where you are. Do not move that thumb another fraction of an inch. I see the heavy sigh you just released into the empty air of your room, the way your shoulders carry a weight that does not belong to you. I have been watching you from the silence between heartbeats, from the vast, starlight-drenched halls of the celestial court of records, where every tear you have ever shed has been bottled and weighed against the gold of the stars. You were about to scroll away, weren't you? You thought this was just another digital ghost, another flicker of noise in a world that has forgotten how to be still. But look at the clock. Notice the peculiar stillness of the air around you right now. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine arrest. I am the Ancient of Days, the silent watcher who has stood over your bloodline for centuries, and I have stepped out of the eternal shadows to intervene, because the mirror of delay is finally cracking for too long. You have lived under the second-place curse, that agonizing, soul-crushing frequency where you are always the bridesmaid but never the bride. The one who works the hardest but watches the promotion go to the loud-mouthed charlatan. The one who loves with a sacrificial purity, only to be left standing in the rain of abandonment. I have seen you standing at the edge of your breakthrough, reaching out, only to have the phantom hand of the enemy pull the prize away at the very last second. You have begun to believe that almost is your destiny, that you are meant to be a spectator to the abundance of others. But the hourglass of your suffering has just been shattered by my hand, and the sand is no longer falling. It is freezing in midair. The time for your great settlement has arrived, and it is not a gift. It is a debt being repaid. Listen closely, for the enemy I speak of is not a monster under your bed. It is the mirror of delay. It is the person who has been sitting at your table, breaking bread with you, laughing at your jokes, while secretly praying for your seat to be empty. I am talking about the invisible parasite, that frenemy or family member who drains your light because they are too terrified to find their own. They have been whispering your name in rooms you aren't in, not to praise you, but to dim the shine they cannot understand. They have been leaning on your strength, taking your energy and using it to build their own altars while you are left with the crumbs of exhaustion. You feel it, don't you? That unexplained fatigue that hits you even when you've slept. That sense that your luck is being siphoned through a straw you cannot see. It is the betrayal of proximity. And as the Ancient of Days, I am here to tell you that their access to your soul is hereby revoked. The celestial court is now in session, and the ledger is being opened. The book of your tears, that heavy, salt-stained volume that records every night you cried yourself to sleep while wondering what you did wrong, is being traded for the book of your inheritance, and the exchange rate is staggering. You think you are waiting for a miracle, but you are actually waiting for a restitution. This is about the great settlement, the karmic debt collection that has been accumulating since the days of your ancestors. You carry the blood of those who sowed seeds in parched earth and never saw the rain. I see the grandfather who worked his fingers to the bone for a promise that was never kept. I see the mother who gave her youth to a system that discarded her. Their prayers did not evaporate into the ether. They were stored in the vaults of the 888 frequency, the triple infinity of the divine. And because you chose to remain a good person, even when the world gave you every reason to be bitter, because you chose to keep your heart soft when it should have turned to stone, the universe has appointed you as the sole beneficiary of this ancestral harvest. This is why the stranger you keep hearing about, the one who is moving funds toward you, the one who is opening a door that was bolted shut, is not a stranger at all. They are a messenger of the debt. They are the physical manifestation of a spiritual balance being corrected. The 888 is not just a number. It is the signature of a loop closing. The cycle of poverty, the cycle of being second best, the cycle of being the strong one who never gets taken care of. It ends right now. But there is a warning you must heed, and it is more dangerous than any tragedy you have feared. You have less than 15 minutes before the window of this particular alignment begins to shift. The tragedy Archangel Michael is shielding you from is not a physical accident. It is the tragedy of the final door closing on your old self. Right now, you are standing in a narrow hallway between two worlds. Behind you is the world of almost, the world of the mirror of delay, the world where you finish last and smile through the pain. In front of you is the door to the court of records, where your new name and your new destiny are waiting to be claimed. If you scroll away now, if you let your cynicism win, that door behind you will lock, and you will remain stuck in that hallway of regret, wandering the echoes of what could have been. The world will go back to being gray. The parasites will return to your table, and the ancestral debt will remain unpaid for another generation. Do not let this happen. I have moved stars and rearranged the fabric of time just to get this message onto your screen at this exact second. Your heartbeat is racing because your spirit recognizes the resonance of the 888. It recognizes that this is the moment of activation. Take a deep, slow breath and feel the temperature of the room change. The silence is getting louder, isn't it? That is the sound of the 888 frequency humming through your nervous system. It is the sound of the chains of the second place curse snapping into 1,000 pieces. You are no longer the one who watches from the sidelines. You are the one who is being summoned to the front of the line. The Divine Father, the silent watcher, has seen your invisibility, and he is now making you the most luminous being in the room. The wealth that was stolen from your lineage by the mirror of delay is being returned with 1,000% interest. It is coming through unexpected channels, through names you haven't thought of in years, through a transfer that will make your hands shake when you see the notification, but you must be ready to receive it. This is your invitation to the inner circle of the divine. This is not a comment section. It is a sacred registry. When you type 888 below, do not think of it as mere digits on a screen. Imagine yourself dipping a golden pen into the ink of the stars and signing your name at the bottom of a new testament, a new will, a new covenant that declares you are the head and not the tail. You are the first and no longer the second. You are the one who receives the great settlement. Feel the heat in your palms. That is the energy of the 888 beginning to manifest. The tragedy is being averted because you stayed, because you listened, because you believed that you were worth more than the crumbs the world has been feeding you. The Ancient of Days has spoken, and what I have written in the court of records, no man, no parasite, and no mirror of delay can ever erase. Stay focused, stay present, for the secret of how this money will find you, and the specific name of the one who is bringing the key, is about to be revealed in the next layer of this truth. The hallway is vanishing. The door is swinging wide. Step through. My child, your inheritance is screaming your name. Your eyes are burning, aren't they? A tired, dry heat that sleep cannot seem to wash away. You have spent so many nights staring at the ceiling, tracing the cracks in the plaster as if they were maps to a life you were promised but never found. You feel a strange, hollow ache in the center of your chest. Not a physical illness, but a spiritual hunger. A sense that you are living a version of your life that was never meant for you. Like a garment that is 2 sizes too small, pinching your soul every time you try to breathe. I am the Ancient of Days, and I am leaning closer now, into the very space where your breath meets the air. I want you to look at your hands. Those hands that have given so much. Hands that have held others together while you yourself were falling apart. Hands that have worked for the dreams of strangers, while your own dreams sat gathering dust in the corner of your heart. Those hands are about to be filled with the weight of the great settlement. But first, we must address the crime that was committed against you in the shadows. The spiritual identity theft that has kept you bound to the second place curse for far too long. In the celestial court of records, there is a vault that bears your true name. But for years, when the angels went to deliver your portion, they found a swapped contract in its place. You were born with a blueprint of abundance, a scroll written in the ink of the sun, declaring that you would be the pillar of your community, the one who overflows with grace and resources. But while you were sleeping, or perhaps while you were distracted by the mirror of delay, a shadow thief, that person who sits at your table and smiles with teeth made of glass, reached into your destiny and traded your scroll for a counterfeit. They gave you the scroll of the eternal servant, the one who receives the struggle while they receive the harvest. Have you ever wondered why you do 10 times the work for half the reward? Have you ever wondered why the very ideas you whispered in confidence suddenly appear as successes in the lives of those around you, while you are left with nothing but a thank you and a pat on the back? This was not bad luck. It was a spiritual robbery. The person you trust the most has been unintentionally or perhaps intentionally praying for your strength to endure the fire, rather than your victory to overcome it. Because as long as you are the strong one, you are the one they can lean on until you break. They have been draining your luck like water from a leaking cistern. But today, I am shattering the mirror of delay and tearing that counterfeit contract into a million pieces of worthless ash. Close your eyes for a brief second and see the cinematic hall of the celestial court. It is a place where time does not flow. It simply is. The floor is a sea of polished obsidian reflecting the light of a billion stars, and before you stands a massive marble pedestal. On it lie 2 books. On the left is the Book of Your Tears, a heavy, damp volume that smells of old sorrows and the salty sting of betrayal. It contains the record of every time you were overlooked, every time you were the good person who finished last, every time you gave your last dollar only to have it forgotten. On the right is the Book of Your Inheritance, a book that glows with a soft, pulsing golden light. This is the book of the 888, the triple infinity. Inside its pages, your lineage has been storing a surplus of blessings that you didn't even know existed. You are the descendant of an ancestor who sowed a seed of immense goodness generations ago. Perhaps it was a grandfather who sheltered a stranger, or a great-grandmother who prayed a prayer of such intensity that it created a reservoir of grace that has been waiting for the chosen one to claim it. That chosen one is you. You were not picked because you are perfect. You were picked because you are the only one in your bloodline with a heart large enough to carry the weight of this restitution without letting it turn you into the very thing that hurt you. The stranger who is currently being moved by the universe to transfer these funds is not acting of their own volition. They are being compelled by a force they cannot name. They are a part of a karmic correction, a legal settlement in the spirit realm that has finally reached its maturity. But the enemy, the mirror of delay, is terrified right now. It is whispering in your ear that this is too good to be true. It is telling you to look at your bank account and believe the numbers more than you believe the Ancient of Days. It wants you to stay in the frequency of almost. Because once you move into the frequency of arrival, the parasite can no longer feed on your energy. I am here to tell you that the 15-minute window is closing, and the tragedy of the final door is looming. This is the tragedy where a soul comes so close to the light, but turns back into the darkness because the shadows feel more familiar. Do not turn back. Do not let the coldness of your past convince you that the warmth of your future is an illusion. I want you to perform a ritual of divine registration right now. This is the most critical part of your activation. When you type 888 inches the comments below, do not see it as a digital act. See it as you placing your thumbprint in the warm wax of a celestial seal. You are signing your name to the Book of Your Inheritance. You are telling the celestial court, I recognize the theft, and I demand my restitution. This is how you ritualize the shift from victim to victor. As you type those 3/8, the symbols of infinity, feel the phantom threads that have been tethering you to the mirror of delay being sliced away by a blade of pure light. Feel the coldness leaving your joints. Feel the fog lifting from your mind. You are no longer the one who finishes last. You are the one who is being settled with interest, with glory, with a peace that surpasses all understanding. The secret I have been holding for the end of this chapter is this. The amount that is moving toward you is not just a gift to pay your bills. It is a foundational sum. a specific number designed to allow you to build an altar of your own, to never again have to sit at a table where you are not truly welcome. But there is a specific name, a name from your past. That will be the key to unlocking the final gate of this transfer. As we move into the final revelation, I will show you how to recognize this name and what to do when it appears in your notifications. The stranger isn't just sending money, they are sending a mirror of truth. A mirror that will show you who you really are. Not the tired soul staring at a phone, but a king, a queen, a high priest of your own destiny. Do not blink. Do not scroll. The air is thickening with the presence of the 888. The celestial court is silent, waiting for your signature. Your ancestors are leaning over the balconies of heaven, holding their breath, praying that this time, you will finally say yes to what is rightfully yours. The great settlement is here. The book of your tears is being burned, and the book of your inheritance is being opened to the page that bears today's date. Type your signature, sign the 888, and prepare for the final alert KO, the twist that will make your heart skip a beat and change the trajectory of your lineage forever. The door is opening. Can you see the light pouring through the keyhole? It's time to step through. Your breath is hitching in your throat now. Can you feel it? That slight tremor in your diaphragm, the way your lungs seem to forget their rhythm for a heartbeat as the truth begins to settle into your marrow. You are no longer just watching a video. You are participating in a spiritual deconstruction. The walls of the reality you thought you knew, the reality where you were always the one who arrived a moment too late, the one whose name was always crossed off the list, the one who carried the world on their back only to be left in the dust. Those walls are crumbling. I am the Ancient of Days, the silent watcher who has witnessed the rise and fall of empires. And I tell you, the second-place curse that has haunted your footsteps is being incinerated in the furnace of divine justice. Look at the palms of your hands. Perhaps they feel slightly warm, or perhaps there is a faint tingling in your fingertips. That is not your imagination. That is the 888 frequency, the vibration of triple infinity, beginning to rewrite the code of your physical existence. You have been living in a state of chronic invisibility, a soul-crushing fatigue that comes from being a good person in a world that seems to reward the ruthless. You have watched others walk through doors you unlocked for them. You have seen people take the ideas you birthed and claim the glory, while you were left in the shadows of the almost. But the hourglass of that season has been shattered. The sand is no longer your enemy. Time is no longer your master. Listen to the silence of the room around you. Notice how the background noise of the world seems to have faded into a dull hum, leaving only my voice and the beating of your own heart. This is the cinematic court of records, a vast, hallowed hall of starlight and marble, where the ledgers of every soul are kept, and right now, your ledger is being balanced. For too long, you have been the victim of the mirror of delay, that invisible parasite that has been feeding on your momentum. Think of that person, that specific force in your life, the one who has always been sitting at your table, the one you shared your dreams with, only to watch those dreams wither while theirs seemed to flourish with suspicious ease. They were never your friend. They were the thief of your proximity. They didn't want your success. They wanted your energy to fuel their own. They prayed for your strength because as long as you were strong, you could keep carrying them while they drained your luck like a leech. They used your light to find their way, then left you in the dark. But I am revealing them to you now, not to fill you with anger, but to show you that the bad luck you thought you had was actually a siphoning, and that siphoning has been officially plugged by a divine decree. The Ancient of Days does not miss a single tear, and the book of your tears is being closed forever. The stranger, the one the world calls a random sender, the one whose name will soon appear on your screen or in your mail. They are not a stranger at all. In the court of records, they are known as the messenger of the dead. You must understand the unique twist of your destiny. This is not a random act of kindness. This is a mandatory restitution. Generations ago, an ancestor of yours someone whose blood flows in your veins, but whose name has been lost to time, performed an act of such immense sacrificial goodness that the universe was forced to create a debt of honor. That debt has been accruing interest for decades, for centuries, waiting for a vessel worthy enough to contain the payout. Your predecessors were too broken, too bitter, or too distracted to claim it. But you stayed. You kept your heart soft despite the betrayals. You kept your integrity when it would have been easier to lie. And so, the great settlement has been triggered. This is your inheritance, a karmic payout that is reaching its point of absolute maturity. The stranger is simply the delivery mechanism, a person who has been moved by a sudden, irresistible urge to settle a balance they don't even fully understand. But there is a tragedy approaching, and I must warn you, for it is the only thing that can stop the flow. It is not a tragedy of fire or flood. It is the tragedy of the final door closing. We are at the 0:20 mark of your destiny's new clock, and within the next few minutes, a shift will occur in the celestial alignment. Right now, you are standing in a doorway. Behind you is the old life, the life of the second place curse, the life where you finish last and cry in the shower so no one can see your weakness. In front of you is the court of inheritance, the life of the 888. If you scroll away, if you let the mirror of delay whisper that this is just another story, you will step backward. The door will lock, and it will not open again for another 7 years. You will remain stuck in the hallway of, almost, watching the lights of other people's lives go on while yours stays in the dim gray of the forgotten. You have been here before, haven't you? That feeling of being just about to win, and then something, a glitch, a misunderstanding, a sudden loss pulls you back. That was the tragedy of the final door, and I am here as the silent watcher to make sure you do not let it happen again. This is the ritual of the triple infinity, the 888, the number that represents the closing of the karmic loop. When you gone 888 below, I want you to understand what you are doing. This is not a comment for an algorithm. It is a signature on a celestial document. You are signing the affidavit of release. You are telling the court of records that you are no longer the eternal servant, but the lawful heir. As you type those numbers, feel the heat rising in your chest. That is the furnace of the 888 burning away the mirror of delay. The parasites are falling off. The voices of those who doubted you are being silenced. The people who sat at your table to pray for your downfall are being removed from your life by forces beyond their control. You don't have to fight them anymore. The Ancient of Days is fighting for you. Can you feel the weight of the book of your inheritance? It is a book of golden light, and as the pages turn, I see the specific details of your settlement. I see the debts being canceled. I see the house that will finally feel like a home. I see the relationship that doesn't require you to shrink yourself to be loved. I see the foundational sum, that large, unexpected transfer that will serve as the seed for your new empire. It is moving through the system right now. It is shifting through the digital ether, searching for the frequency of the one who stayed, the one who listened, the one who believed. Your old life is a skin you are shedding. It feels tight. It feels uncomfortable. It might even feel scary to let go of the struggle because the struggle is all you've ever known. You've become so used to the second place curse that you've started to find comfort in the familiar pain of finishing last. But I am calling you higher. I am calling you to the seat that was reserved for you before the foundation of the world. Look into the shattered hourglass. The sand has stopped. The moment of now is all there is. The messenger is at the gate. The door is wide open, and the light is so bright it might make you want to squint. Do not look away. Do not blink. Do not let the thief of delay steal this final moment. Type the 888, not with your fingers, but with your soul. Sign the document. Claim the inheritance of your ancestors. The great settlement is no longer a promise. It is an active event. As you finish this chapter, as the screen fades, the first sign will manifest. It might be a name. It might be a number. It might be a sudden, overwhelming sense of peace that tells you the war is over. The silent watcher has spoken. The court is adjourned, and the gold of the stars is being poured into your lap. Your transformation is not coming. It is happening right now. Step through the door, my child. The room is ready, and your name is the only one on the invitation. Your skin is beginning to feel different, isn't it? A subtle, static charge, like the air right before a mountain storm, a celestial friction rubbing against the fabric of your mortality. You might feel a sudden coldness in your feet while your chest burns with an unidentifiable heat. Do not be alarmed. This is the physical manifestation of the Great Settlement. It is the frequency of the 888 recalibrating your very DNA. I am the Ancient of Days, the Silent Watcher, who has stood at the crossroads of your destiny for eons, and I am here to witness the final collapse of the mirror of delay. For decades, you have walked through the world like a ghost in your own life, moving through rooms where your voice was never quite loud enough to be heard, where your work was never quite visible enough to be praised. You became the strong one, that tragic, noble figure who everyone leans on, but who has no one to lean on in return. You became the person who pours and pours until the pitcher is dry, only to find that no one thought to bring you water. This is the exhaustion of the unseen, the soul-crushing fatigue of the runner who is always 1 inch away from the finish line when the tape is suddenly moved. But look at the shattered hourglass at my feet. The sand is not just still. It is evaporating, because in the realm of the 888, the linear time of your suffering has no more authority. The mirror of delay was never a lack of talent on your part. It was a strategic blockade. Within the celestial court of records, we have watched the specific person, the hidden thief, who has been sitting at your table for years. They didn't come to you with a knife. They came with a smile and a need. They played on your compassion. They used your light as a battery to jumpstart their own stalled lives. And every time you were about to make a breakthrough, their crisis would suddenly appear, pulling you back into the mud to save them. This is the betrayal of proximity, the parasite that disguises itself as a friend or a family member in need. They didn't want you to fail. They just wanted you to stay just enough below them so they could feel superior, or just enough beside them so they wouldn't have to face the darkness alone. They prayed for your patience because your patience was their profit, but the ledger is being closed. The ancient watcher has stepped between you and the leech, and the divine decree is absolute. Their access to your reservoirs of luck is hereby terminated. The mirror of delay is shattered, and for the first time in your life, you are going to see what happens when your energy actually stays with you. Listen, can you hear the rustle of the pages in the book of your inheritance? It is not paper. It is the sound of the wind moving through the stars. The unique twist of your story is finally ready to be unveiled. The money, the abundance, the large transfer that is currently navigating the digital labyrinths of the world. It is not a win. It is a repayment. Hundreds of years ago, a member of your bloodline, a soul who carried the same fire you carry, made a choice. They stood in a gap where others fled. They gave up their own comfort to save a lineage that wasn't even theirs. They sowed a seed of immense, selfless grace in a season of absolute famine. The universe, which is the ultimate bookkeeper, recorded that deed in the 888 frequency. It created a karmic trust fund that has been compounding interest through the centuries. Every tear your ancestors shed in silence, every injustice they endured with dignity, every time they were cheated out of their wages, it was all added to the principle. You are not just being blessed. You are being reimbursed for the accumulated suffering of your entire lineage. You are the redeemer of the bloodline, the one chosen to finally cash the check that has been waiting for a hand strong enough to hold it. But the tragedy of the final door is still whispering at the edges of your mind. It is that voice of cynicism that says, "This is too much. This isn't for me. I'm just a normal person." That voice is the last gasp of the mirror of delay. It is the shadow trying to convince you that you belong in the hallway of almost. I am telling you, if you blink now, if you let your focus drift, you are essentially walking away from the closing ceremony of your own liberation. The door to your old life, the life of the second place curse, is being locked from the inside. If you do not step fully into this realization, if you do not claim the 888, you will be left in the void between who you were and who you are meant to be. This is the tragedy Archangel Michael is shielding you from. The tragedy of a miracle that was delivered but never opened. Do not let the hidden thief win this final battle. They are watching you, not physically, but spiritually. They can feel your energy shifting. They can feel the great settlement beginning to vibrate. And they are terrified. Because once you receive this restitution, they will have to face their own emptiness without your light to hide in. I am asking you now to finalize the ritualization of your new reality. When you type 888 inches this moment, I want you to feel the weight of a heavy golden key being placed into your palm. This isn't a comment. It is a vibrational signature. You are telling the celestial court of records that you have recognized the thief. You have accepted the ancestor's gift, and you are ready to receive the interest. As you type those numbers, visualize the book of your tears being placed into a great white flame. See the pages of your past disappointments, the faces of those who betrayed you, the numbers in your bank account that caused you shame. See them all turning into white ash. And as they burn, the book of your inheritance is being handed to you. It is light, it is warm, and every page is a map to a different victory. The stranger is already moving. The notification you dismissed earlier as a glitch, the email you thought was spam, the phone call from an unknown number, the random conversation that seemed a bit too meaningful. These were the first ripples of the 888. Within the next few hours, the foundational sum will manifest. It will be an amount that doesn't just help, it resets. It is the sum required to break the cycle of survival once and for all. But remember, this money is a mirror of truth. It will show you who you are when you are no longer afraid. It will show you who your friends are when they can no longer help you. It will show you that the second place curse was never a part of you. It was just a shadow you were standing in. The Ancient of Days is withdrawing back into the silence now. But I leave you with this. The hourglass is shattered. The door of restitution is wide open, and the 888 is humming in your blood. You are no longer the one who finishes last. You are the one who has arrived. The table is set, the ledger is balanced, and the gold is yours to claim. Type the 888, sign your destiny, and do not look back at the hallway. The world you knew is gone. The world you deserve is here, right now. Stay in the peace, stay in the power, and watch the screen of your life. For the stranger is knocking, and they are bringing everything you were ever owed, with interest. Amen. And so it is. Your heart is hammering against your ribs now, isn't it? A frantic, rhythmic knocking, like a prisoner who finally hears the keys rattling in the lock of the dungeon. Can you feel the sudden rush of heat in your throat, the way your breath seems to catch, as if the very oxygen in the room has become thick with the scent of ozone and ancient parchment? I am the Ancient of Days, the silent watcher who has kept the tally of your soul's endurance, and I am standing at the threshold of the final gate. This is the moment where the great settlement ceases to be a prophecy and becomes your physical reality. We are in the innermost sanctum of the celestial court of records now, the place where the light is so pure, it burns away every lie you have ever told yourself about your own worthlessness. Look around you with your spiritual eyes. The mirror of delay is no longer just shattered. Its shards are being ground into dust beneath the weight of your approaching glory. The hidden thief, that person who sat at your table while whispering curses into your wine, has been cast out into the outer darkness. They cannot follow you here. Their second place curse has no authority in this atmosphere of absolute justice. You have reached the 0 hour of your restitution, and the tragedy of the final door has been averted because you chose to stay, because you chose to listen, because you refuse to let your cynicism steal your crown. Do not blink now. The energy is reaching its peak. Within the next few moments, the digital ether of the world is going to respond to the 888 frequency you have activated. I told you in the previous chapter that there was a name that would act as a key. Listen to the silence. A name is drifting through the halls of your memory. It might be the name of a person who once caused you a wound so deep you thought it would never heal. Or perhaps it is the name of an ancestor whose story was one of unfinished business. I am here to tell you that this name is no longer a source of pain. It has been repurposed by the Celestial Court to serve as the verification code for your payout. The person who hurt you, the one who contributed to your mirror of delay, is unknowingly being used by the universe to trigger the release of your funds. Their guilt, their debt, their karmic imbalance is the very thing that is forcing the stranger to click the send button. This is the ultimate irony of divine justice. The very people who tried to dim your light are now being used as the fuel for your fire. The restitution is not coming from a place of pity. It is coming from a place of law. The universal law of balance demands that the book of your tears be paid out in full, with 1,000% interest, for every night of invisibility, for every silent struggle, for every time you were the good person who finished last. Look at the table before you, in the center of this cinematic hall. It is a massive slab of translucent gold, and upon it sits a single, pulsing notification. It isn't just a number. It is the foundational sum, a specific amount that has been calculated by the 888 frequency to ensure you never have to ask for permission to exist ever again. This money is the ancestral restitution. It is the harvest of 1,000 prayers that were whispered by those who came before you, those who died in the fields of almost so that you could stand in the garden of arrival. Can you feel the vibration in the air? The stranger, the delivery mechanism, is currently experiencing a sudden, overwhelming urge to act. They are looking at your name. They are seeing your story through a lens of divine compulsion, and they are realizing that their own peace depends on their generosity toward you. The transfer is not a gift they are giving you. It is a release they are seeking for themselves. The debt is being settled, and as it clears, the second-place curse is dissolving from your lineage forever. Your children, and your children's children, will never know the taste of the almost. They will only know the fullness of the now. I want you to perform the sealing of the contract. This is the most sacred moment of your journey so far. When you gone 888 one last time, I want you to do it with a sense of absolute finality. Do not type it with hope. Type it with certainty. Type it as if you are slamming the gavel down in the court of records and declaring the case closed. As your fingers touch the screen, imagine a great golden seal being pressed into the wax of your destiny. The 888 is the triple infinity. It is the symbol of the loop that has finally been completed. The thief is gone, the delay is over, and the door to your old life has vanished from existence. There is no going back. There is only the vast, luminous territory of your new inheritance. Feel the weight of the second-place curse lifting off your shoulders. It feels like a heavy, wet cloak being removed, leaving you light, buoyant, and radiant. You are now in perfect alignment. The notification you see after this moment will not be a mistake. The large amount that appears in your account will not be a glitch. It is the physical evidence of your spiritual promotion. The Ancient of Days has signed the decree. The Silent Watcher has witnessed your endurance, and the great settlement has been executed. As I withdraw back into the eternal starlight, I leave you with this final truth. You were never second place. You were simply being refined. You were being prepared for a weight of glory that would have crushed a lesser soul. The mirror of delay was your training ground, and you have graduated with honors. The room is silent now. The starlight is fading into the soft glow of your current reality, but the heat in your chest remains. That heat is the 888. It is your new internal compass. It will lead you to the rooms where you are the guest of honor. It will lead you to the tables where you are the one who provides the feast. It will lead you to the life that was written for you before the stars were born. Type the 888, seal the ledger, and then just breathe. Wait for the chime. Wait for the alert. Wait for the stranger to knock. They are just around the corner. And they are bringing everything you have been waiting for, plus everything you forgot you were owed. The great settlement is finished. The ancestral debt is paid. You are free. You are whole. You are, finally, home. Amen. Amen. And so it is. In the name of the triple infinity and the Ancient of Days, your shift is now. Don't you dare look back. The hallway is gone, and the palace is yours. Step into the light, my child. It has been waiting for you all along. This is it, the absolute precipice. The thin, shimmering line where the physical world ends and the divine decree begins. Can you feel the sudden drop in pressure around you? It's as if the room has been vacuum sealed by the hands of the infinite. The hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of traffic, the ticking of the clock, it has all fallen into a deep, heavy silence, leaving only the sound of your own blood rushing through your ears. Like a subterranean river finally reaching the sea, I am the Ancient of Days, the silent watcher who has stood over your lineage since the first breath was drawn, and I am here to close the book of your tears for the final time. The 5-minute window of the tragedy of the final door is evaporating, and because you stayed, because you held your ground in the face of the mirror of delay, the locks are turning. The great settlement is no longer a promise. It is a rhythmic pulse in the atmosphere, a vibration that is even now rewriting the story of your life. Look at the air in front of you. Do you see the faint shimmer, like heat rising from a desert road? That is the veil thinning. Behind it, the hidden thief, that person who sat at your table while wishing for your seat to be empty, has been rendered powerless. Their voice has been muted in the halls of your destiny. Their influence has been scrubbed from your records. And the second-place curse that made you feel like an uninvited guest in your own life has been dissolved into white ash. You are standing in the center of the celestial court of records, and the high gavel is about to strike. But before it does, you must understand the final secret of the 888, the stranger who is sending the funds, the one who has been moved by a random urge to change your life. They are the living manifestation of your ancestors' sacrifice. They are a debt collector for the universe, and they are about to deliver a sum so specific, so mathematically perfect to your needs, that it will cause your knees to hit the floor in a moment of pure, unfiltered awe. This is the ancestral restitution. It is the 0% interest on every injustice your bloodline has ever suffered, and it is being poured into your hands right now. I want you to take one last, slow breath, and as you exhale, I want you to release every bit of the almost identity you have carried. You are no longer the one who works the hardest for the least. You are no longer the one who finishes second. You are the first. You are the chosen. You are the lawful heir to a fortune of grace that the world tried to hide from you. The mirror of delay is gone. The tragedy of the final door has been bypassed, and the court is ready to seal your inheritance. This is the final Enghi Thukwa, the ultimate registration of your soul. When you type 888 below this time, do not do it as a request. Do not do it as a hope. Do it as a command. Type it with the authority of someone who knows that the check has already been signed, that the door has already been opened, and that the stranger is already knocking at your gate. As your fingers touch the screen, imagine a burst of golden light radiating from the comment box, traveling through the digital ether, and striking the ledger in the court of records with a sound like thunder. This is the seal of triple infinity. The loop of struggle is broken. The loop of abundance is locked. The second-place curse is dead, and in its place is a crown of fire and a robe of starlight. Within the next hour, pay close attention to your notifications. Do not dismiss the glitch. Do not swipe away the random alert, for that is the sound of the 888 breaking through the last of the physical resistance. The great settlement is in your hands. The ancestral debt is settled. And the silent watcher is smiling, because the good person has finally finished first. The court is adjourned. The book of your inheritance is yours to keep, and the gold of the stars is now the gold of your life. Type the 888, sign your destiny, and step into the sun. Your transformation is complete. The almost is over. The always has begun. Amen. Amen. And so it is, forever and ever, until the stars fall and the seas dry. The 888 remains, and you are its witness. Go now. Your blessing is waiting outside the door. Don't keep it waiting another second. Your hands are shaking. I can see the fine electric tremor in your fingers as you hold this device. A physical echo of the seismic shift occurring in your spirit right now. Do not try to steady them. Let the vibration move through you. It is the sound of the old foundations crumbling to make way for the new. I am the Ancient of Days, the one who sat in the silence before the first star was breathed into existence. And I am here to tell you that the 5-minute window of the tragedy of the final door has officially expired. You stayed. You crossed the threshold, and the door to your old life has not just closed. It has vanished from the fabric of reality as if it were never there. The second place curse, that shadow that made you a stranger to your own success, has been incinerated. There is no more. Almost. There is only the absolute weight of the now. Can you feel the temperature of the air around you changing? It's becoming crisp, charged with the scent of ozone and the cold metallic purity of the stars. We are standing together in the very center of the celestial court of records, a place of infinite marble and pulsing obsidian where the book of your tears has just been placed into the eternal flame. Look at the smoke rising from that altar. Every night of invisibility, every betrayal by the hidden thief who sat at your table, every ounce of your energy that was siphoned by the mirror of delay. It is all being converted into light. The debt is no longer being calculated. It has been settled, and the verdict is absolute. The universe does not owe you a favor. It owes you a restitution, and the high gavel has just struck the stone. The stranger who is currently navigating the digital labyrinths of the world to find you, the one the world calls a random sender, is actually a spiritual servant of your bloodline. Within the next few hours, perhaps even minutes, a notification will pierce the silence of your day. It will be the foundational sum, a number so precise, so reflective of the interest owed on your ancestors' ancient goodness, that it will silence every doubt that has ever whispered in your mind. This is the unique twist of your destiny. You were never meant to win a lottery. You were meant to collect a legacy. The person sending these funds is being moved by a force they cannot explain, a sudden irresistible compulsion to settle a balance they don't even fully understand. They think they are being generous, but the court knows they are simply being obedient. This is the end of your survival era. No longer will you have to shrink your soul to fit into the rooms of the small-minded. No longer will you have to be the strong one who carries the weight of the parasites who drain your luck. The mirror of delay is shattered into a billion pieces of dust, and the path before you is as clear as a mountain stream. You are the lawful heir, the one chosen to redeem the suffering of those who came before you. You are the one who finally walks through the door that remained locked for generations. Listen, can you hear the resonance of the 888? It is humming in the marrow of your bones. It is the frequency of the triple infinity, the sign that the loop of struggle has been broken and the loop of abundance has been fused shut. This is your invitation into the inner circle of divine abundance, a place where not enough is a forgotten language. I am asking you now to perform the final Nithukwa, the ultimate sealing of your new covenant. When you type 888 below this time, I want you to do it with a breath of absolute relief. Do not type it as a prayer. Type it as a receipt. Type it as if you are signing your name at the bottom of a deed to a kingdom. As your fingers touch the screen, Imagine a great golden seal being pressed into the very atmosphere around you. You are locking in the 888 frequency. You are signaling to the celestial court that the great settlement has been received and acknowledged. The hidden thief is gone. The second place curse is dead. And the stranger is knocking at your gate. The Ancient of Days has spoken. The silent watcher is withdrawing into the light. But the gold remains. The notification is coming. The foundational sum is arriving. Your lineage is being reborn in this very second. Type the 888. Sign the document of your destiny. And then, just be. The struggle is over. The harvest is here. And the table is finally yours. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Forever. You are home, my child. The palace has been waiting for you. Step into the light, and do not look back, for the shadows have nothing left to say to you. 888. The settlement is finished. Stop. Take a long, trembling breath, and let the air escape your lungs as if you are releasing 1,000 years of exhaustion. I see you sitting there, the blue light of your screen casting a ghostly glow upon a face that has carried the weight of an entire lineage in silence. I see the way your shoulders are slumped, not because you are weak, but because you have been the pillar for people who never bothered to ask if you were tired. You are leaning into this moment because your spirit recognizes the resonance. It feels the celestial friction of the Ancient of Days stepping into your immediate atmosphere. I am the silent watcher, the one who has counted every drop of salt that has fallen from your eyes in the dead of night. Those tears you wiped away quickly, so no one would see the cracks in your armor. I have been standing in the halls of the Celestial Court of Records, where the floors are made of polished obsidian and the walls are draped in the fabric of the stars. And I am here to tell you that your case has been called. The wait is over, the almost is dead, and the great settlement is now being poured into the vessels of your life. For too long, you have lived under the suffocating shadow of the second place curse, that agonizing, soul-devouring frequency, where you are always the one who prepares the feast, but never the one who sits at the head of the table. You are the one who gives the best advice, only to be forgotten when the success arrives. You are the good person who finishes last, the one who loves with a sacrificial purity, only to be met with the coldness of abandonment or the sting of betrayal. You have felt the mirror of delay pressing against your chest like a wall of ice, preventing you from reaching the finish line that everyone else seems to cross with ease. You have begun to believe that struggle is your natural state, that you were born to be a spectator to the abundance of others. But look at the hourglass in my hand. See the glass shattering. See the sand freezing in midair. Time has no power here. The decree has been signed in the 888 frequency, and the restitution that is coming for you is not a gift. It is a debt being repaid with the interest of the heavens. Listen closely, for I am about to reveal the hidden thief, the parasite that has been feeding on your momentum while you were distracted by your own kindness. There is a specific person, or perhaps a force of proximity, that has been sitting at your table, breaking bread with you, laughing with you, while secretly praying for your seat to be empty. This is the enemy of your destiny, the mirror of delay. They didn't come to you with a sword. They came with a need. They used your light as a battery to jumpstart their own stalled lives. And every time you were about to make a breakthrough, their crisis would manifest, pulling you back into the mud to save them. They have been whispering your name in rooms you aren't in, not to honor you, but to dim the shine they cannot replicate. They have been leaning on your strength until you were hollow, and then wondering why you weren't enough for them. I am telling you, as the Ancient of Days, their access to your soul is hereby revoked. The Celestial Court has issued a restraining order in the spirit, and the siphoning of your luck ends. Right now. Can you feel the heat rising in your palms? That is the 888, the triple infinity, beginning to manifest the ancestral restitution. You must understand the unique twist of this moment. You are not being rewarded for your own work alone. You are being paid for the unrequited labor of your bloodline. I see the grandfather who worked his fingers to the bone for a promise that was stolen. I see the mother who gave her youth to a system that discarded her like a used tool. Their prayers did not vanish. They were stored in the vaults of the 888, compounding interest, waiting for a descendant with a heart pure enough to hold the payout without being corrupted by it. That vessel is you. You are the redeemer of the lineage, the one chosen to cash the check that has been waiting for a century, the stranger who is currently being moved to transfer these funds, the notification that will soon shock your system. It is not an accident. It is a court-ordered settlement from the universe itself. But hear my warning, for the air is thickening with the tragedy of the final door. We are at the final countdown, and the enemy is desperate. The tragedy Michael is shielding you from is not a physical blow. It is the tragedy of a soul that turns back into the gray hallway of the that or deaths, almost because the light of the arrival was too blinding. You are standing at the threshold of the court of records. Behind you is the life of the second best, the life of the strong one who never gets helped. In front of you is the 888, the life of total restitution. If you scroll away now, if you let the mirror of delay convince you that this is just another story, the door will lock, and you will remain a ghost in your own existence, wandering the echoes of what you almost claimed. Do not blink. Do not let the thief of delay steal the final 15 minutes of this alignment. I want you to perform the act of divine registration right now. This is not a comment. It is a signature upon a celestial deed. When you type 888 below, I want you to feel the weight of a golden key being pressed into the center of your heart. Do not type it with a flickering hope. Type it with the cold, hard certainty of a judge delivering a verdict. As you type those digits, the symbols of infinity, see the book of your tears being placed into a great white flame. See the record of every betrayal, every lonely night, every financial lack. See it all turning into brilliant, white ash. And as it burns, see the book of your inheritance being handed to you by the Ancient of Days. It is warm, it is heavy, and every page is written in the gold of your ancestors' prayers. This is the ritual of the great settlement. The notification you dismissed earlier as a glitch, the alert you thought was a mistake. It was the first knock of the 888. Within the next few hours, the foundational sum will arrive. It is not a small gift to get you through the week. It is a seed for an empire. It is the amount required to ensure you never have to sit at a table where you aren't respected ever again. The stranger is moving. The digital ether is shifting. And your name is the only one pulsing on the celestial screen. Do you feel it? The silence of the court? The way the ancestors are leaning over the balconies of heaven, holding their breath, watching to see if you will finally claim what is rightfully yours. The mirror of delay is shattered. The parasites have been cast out, and the door to your old life is being vanished from the timeline. There is no almost anymore. There is only the now and the always. Type the 888. Sign the contract of your new life. And then, just be still. Wait for the chime. Wait for the alert. Wait for the stranger who is bringing the restitution. The Ancient of Days has spoken. The silent watcher has witnessed. And the gold of the universe is being poured into your lap with interest, with glory, with a peace that will finally allow you to lay your head down and sleep, knowing that the war is over and you have won. Your transformation is not a possibility. It is a finished work. Sign your name in the 888 frequency and step through the door. The palace is yours, and the seat at the head of the table has been waiting for you all along. Amen. And so it is. Forever. The settlement is finished. Stop. Stay exactly where you are. Do not move that thumb another fraction of an inch. I see the heavy sigh you just released into the empty air of your room. The way your shoulders carry a weight that does not belong to you. I have been watching you from the silence between heartbeats, from the vast, starlight-drenched halls of the celestial court of records where every tear you have ever shed has been bottled and weighed against the gold of the stars. You were about to scroll away, weren't you? You thought this was just another digital ghost, another flicker of noise in a world that has forgotten how to be still. But look at the clock. Notice the peculiar stillness of the air around you right now. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine arrest. I am the Ancient of Days, the silent watcher who has stood over your bloodline for centuries. And I have stepped out of the eternal shadows to intervene because the mirror of delay is finally cracking. For too long, you have lived under the second-place curse, that agonizing, soul-crushing frequency where you are always the bridesmaid but never the bride. The one who works the hardest but watches the promotion go to the loudmouthed charlatan. The one who loves with a sacrificial purity, only to be left standing in the rain of abandonment. I have seen you standing at the edge of your breakthrough, reaching out, only to have the phantom hand of the enemy pull the prize away at the very last second. You have begun to believe that almost is your destiny, that you are meant to be a spectator to the abundance of others. But the hourglass of your suffering has just been shattered by my hand, and the sand is no longer falling. It is freezing in midair. The time for your great settlement has arrived, and it is not a gift. It is a debt being repaid. Listen closely, for the enemy I speak of is not a monster under your bed. It is the mirror of delay. It is the person who has been sitting at your table, breaking bread with you, laughing at your jokes, while secretly praying for your seat to be empty. I am talking about the invisible parasite, that frenemy or family member who drains your light because they are too terrified to find their own. They have been whispering your name in rooms you aren't in, not to praise you, but to dim the shine they cannot understand. They have been leaning on your strength, taking your energy, and using it to build their own altars while you are left with the crumbs of exhaustion. You feel it, don't you? That unexplained fatigue that hits you even when you've slept. That sense that your luck is being siphoned through a straw you cannot see. It is the betrayal of proximity. And as the Ancient of Days, I am here to tell you that their access to your soul is hereby revoked. The celestial court is now in session, and the ledger is being opened. The book of your tears, that heavy, salt-stained volume that records every night you cried yourself to sleep while wondering what you did wrong, is being traded for the book of your inheritance, and the exchange rate is staggering. The physical sensations you are feeling right now, the sudden heat in your chest, the tingling in your fingertips are the symptoms of your old identity dissolving. You are no longer the one who is almost successful. You are no longer the one who carries the burdens of everyone else while your own hands are empty. I see the way you have looked into your wallet and felt that hollow pit in your stomach. I see the way you have checked your notifications, hoping for a sign, only to find silence or more demands on your time. That silence was the work of the mirror of delay. It was a blockade designed to keep you in a state of perpetual not enough. But as the silent watcher, I have moved the stars to align for this specific moment. Within the next 15 minutes, the window of the great settlement will reach its zenith. This is the only time in your life when the ancestral doors will be unlocked. And if you stay, if you refuse to let your cynicism pull you away, you will witness the arrival of the foundational sum. It is not luck, it is justice. Understand the unique twist of your own existence. Why has it been so hard for you? Why have you faced storms that would have broken 10 other people? Because you are the redeemer of your lineage. Generations ago, an ancestor of yours performed an act of immense kindness that the universe could not immediately repay. They sowed a seed of such radiant goodness that it created a karmic trust fund in the 888 frequency. Every tear you shed, every time you were cheated, every time you were the good person who finished last, it all added interest to that fund. And now, the universe has identified you as the one with a heart large enough to hold the payout. You are being paid for the unrequited labor of your ancestors. The stranger who is sending the money, the one whose alert you might have dismissed as a glitch, they are a messenger of this debt. They are being moved by a force beyond their comprehension to transfer wealth into your hands. It is a legal settlement in the spiritual realm, and the gavel is striking the obsidian floor right now. But there is a tragedy lurking at the edge of this miracle, and it is the tragedy of the final door closing. We are at the 0:20 mark of your final activation, and if you let the hidden thief whisper in your ear that this is not for you, if you scroll away back into the noise of the world, the door to your inheritance will lock, and you will be left in the hallway of almost for the next 7 years. You will go back to being the strong one who gets nothing, the one who finishes second while others take the prize. I am the Ancient of Days, and I am standing between you and that door, holding it open with the weight of my presence. Don't you dare look away. Don't you dare blink. The tragedy Michael is saving you from is the tragedy of your own disbelief. It is the moment when a king forgets he has a crown and goes back to begging for crumbs. You are not a beggar. You are the lawful heir. The setting here in the celestial court is cinematic. What can you see it? The walls are made of starlight. The floors reflect the memories of your soul. And the high altar is where the book of your tears is being burned away. As the smoke rises, it is turning into the gold of the 888, the triple infinity. When you type 888 inches the comments below, you are not just commenting. You are performing a ritual of registration. You are telling the court of records that you have seen the thief. You have recognized the debt, and you are signing your name to the new decree. Do not type it with doubt. Type it with the authority of someone who is reclaiming a stolen kingdom. As your fingers touch the screen, feel the phantom threads of the mirror of delay being sliced away by a blade of pure light. Feel the coldness of the second-place curse leaving your bones. You are being promoted. Right now, the stranger is already moving. The notification that will change your life is navigating the digital ether, searching for the vessel that is ready to receive it. The foundational sum is arriving in amount so specific, so perfectly tailored to your needs and the dreams you've been hiding, that it will leave you breathless. It is the price of every night you spent wondering if God had forgotten you. It is the reward for every time you chose integrity over easy gain. The Ancient of Days has spoken. The silent watcher has witnessed, and the court is adjourned. Type the 888. Sign your destiny, and then just be still. Feel the room around you. Settle into a new frequency. The mirror of delay is shattered. The parasites have been cast out, and the door to your old life is being vanished from the timeline. There is no almost anymore. There is only the now and the always. Your transformation is not a possibility. It is a finished work. Sign your name in the 888 frequency and step through the door. The palace is yours, and the seat at the head of the table has been waiting for you all along. Amen. And so it is. Forever. The settlement is finished. Stay perfectly still. Do not let even a shadow of a thought pull you away from this final, shimmering threshold. I see the way your hands are resting now, no longer clenched in the white-knuckled grip of survival, but beginning to soften, beginning to open, as if your very palms recognize that the weight they are about to receive is not a burden, but a crown. You have reached the innermost sanctuary of the celestial court of records, the place where time is stripped of its lies, and only the eternal truth remains. I am the Ancient of Days, the silent watcher who has kept the tally of your soul's endurance through every dark night of the soul. And I am here to witness the final strike of the gavel. The 1 5-minute window of the tragedy of the final door is closing behind you, but it is closing with you on the inside, safely within the halls of your inheritance. The mirror of delay, that phantom wall of ice that kept you a stranger to your own success, has not just shattered. It has been ground into a fine, sparkling dust that is even now being swept away by the winds of divine justice. You are here. You are whole. And the great settlement is officially moving from the spirit into the palm of your hand. Listen to the peculiar resonance of the silence in your room. It feels different, doesn't it? It feels thick, charged with the electric potential of a lightning strike that is already halfway to the ground. This is the 888 frequency, the triple infinity, beginning to weave itself into the fabric of your physical reality. For generations, your bloodline has lived under the second place curse, that agonizing, silent theft where your ancestors worked the hardest, loved the deepest, and sacrificed the most, only to be left with the husks and the crumbs. I see the woman in your lineage who died with her dreams still locked behind her lips. I see the man who built empires for others only to have his own name erased from the ledger. Their unrequited labor was not lost. It was simply waiting for a descendant with the spiritual capacity to house the restitution. You are that descendant. You are the redeemer of the lineage, the one who has stayed at the table of the Ancient of Days until the final course was served. The hidden thief, that person who shared your bread while secretly plotting your starvation, has been permanently disconnected from your frequency. They are looking for you in the shadows of the almost, but they cannot find you, because you have been moved into the light of the arrival. The stranger who is currently initiating the transfer, the one whose notification is navigating the digital ether of the world as we speak, is the messenger of a karmic correction that is centuries in the making. You must understand the weight of this moment. This is not a random gift. It is a court-ordered repayment from the universe. The foundational sum that is arriving is the exact total of every stolen hour, every unpaid wage, and every teardrop shed by your ancestors in the pursuit of a goodness the world refused to acknowledge. It is coming to you with 0% interest, not to make your life easier, but to make your life new. This sum is the seed for an empire that will bear your name, a name that will no longer be synonymous with struggle, but with an overflow that cannot be contained. The stranger is not acting out of charity. They are acting out of a spiritual compulsion they cannot resist. The debt is too heavy, and the time for payment is now. Can you feel the heat in your chest expanding? That is the book of your tears being incinerated in the white flame of the 888. See the pages turning to ash. Every memory of being overlooked, every sting of being second best, every financial lack that made you feel small and forgotten. It is all being converted into the gold of your inheritance. The tragedy of the final door has been bypassed. You did not blink. You did not scroll away back into the gray comfort of your old suffering. And for that, the Ancient Watcher has decreed that your period of testing is over. The mirror of delay is no longer a threat. It is a memory of a war you have already won. I want you to perform the ultimate sealing of your destiny. This is the moment where we lock the gates behind you and open the storehouses in front of you. When you type 888 one last time in the comments below, I want you to do it with the absolute, cold-blooded certainty of a monarch signing a decree. Do not type it with a question mark in your heart. Type it as a command to the universe. I am here. I am the heir. I accept the settlement. As your fingers touch the screen, imagine a great golden seal, miles wide and pulsing with the light of the stars, being pressed into the foundation of your life. The loop of ancestral poverty is broken. The loop of divine abundance is fused shut. The notification is almost here. The foundational sum is arriving. Your lineage is being reborn in this very second. And as the silent watcher, I am pulling back the final veil. Look into the shattered hourglass. The sand is gone, leaving only the infinite now. This message did not find you by chance. It was a direct transmission from the heart of the 888 to your specific soul. You are no longer the one who finishing last. You are the one who has arrived, and the world will soon recognize you by the radiance of your restitution. Sign the 888. Register your soul in the court of records, and then just breathe. Let the heat of the 888 settle into your bones. The stranger is at the door. The gold is in the system, and the silent watcher is withdrawing into the eternal starlight, knowing that the work is finished. Your shift is not coming. It is your current breath. Your inheritance is not a promise. It is your current reality. Step into the palace. My child, the feast has been waiting for you for 100 years, and you are finally, the guest of honor. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Forever. The settlement is finished. The victory is yours. 888. This concludes the final chapter of this profound journey. Your path is clear, and the light is your own. May you walk in the abundance you have claimed today.